Well, you know, they can collude, and you know that, Joe.
I know,
and they're
but
taking it
they
very
can send
seriously.
signals, right? They can send signals.
They can send
is this
signals.
a signal?
And I think you picked up, certainly, I think, on the theme that I was trying to communicate yesterday in my reporting, and certainly what I was kind of getting from people close to the situation, which is that valuations on both these assets have gotten very high, but particularly when you look from Comcast's perspective on Fox. And this is not to say that there's still not the possibility they won't make a bid to try to top the $38 cash and stock deal that Disney has in place. But when you look at it, Joe, and you look at what they're going to get for the RSNs, which they would absolutely have to sell, not to mention potentially for antitrust reasons, Hulu as well, the 30% or more of what they would acquire there. And you look at the multiple they'd be paying and the leverage they'd be taking on, and this chain principle in the UK, which also is playing a role here, even though we don't have a final ruling from the UK takeover panel, that basically says if you're going to pay more for Fox, well, Fox owns 39% of this Sky asset, and you're bidding on that too, well, you got to pay more for that too. Same percentage-wise increase. You put it all together, Joe, and, you know, you could say, hey, why not try and signal to a certain extent and say, Disney, you know, maybe if you back off. Nothing says they're going to, by the way. I know. But if you do, then we're done.
Well, I would think that, I mean, I saw it laid out yesterday in a couple of pieces. I think maybe Ed Lee might have wrote one. We were going to talk to him, but then the president was talking over NATO. I think we were going to have him on how all these guys are together. You know, they're all in a square mile radius out there. They're together, but they can't. I don't even think they can look at each other. I mean, I don't even think Brian could go like that to Iger. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't even think you could do that. That might be great. No, so they can't even look in the. They got to like look down or something. But if you were going to do it and send signals that is not collusion, maybe Rupert doesn't raise his bid above where Comcast is on Sky now, and then could that be a sign that you go ahead and that means we're not going to go.
You know, it's timing is a key thing here, Joe, and the best I could tell yesterday, and by the way, most of them I think are sleeping or, you know, not awake yet in Sun Valley, so I haven't had a chance to talk to as many people as I might have wanted to.
They're on East Coast time, I think. They don't switch immediately, do they?
No, they don't, but it was like, it's still 4:30. Sometimes that pushes it. I wait till 5 usually. I wait till 8 to make those West Coast calls to those guys, but to any of them and all of them. But Disney doesn't have to do, and Fox don't have to do anything here on Sky, right? They've got an approved offer now as well. It is a lower offer to the $14.75 now that Comcast has a deal with Sky and Sky's board. But they can just sit there and wait. And under UK takeover law, it's still at least 46 days, maybe even longer than that, before you actually enter a auction period for the asset. And the reason I mention that is, well, if Comcast wants clarity on what's going to happen with Sky before it makes its final determination as to whether to try to bid again for the Fox assets, it won't get it if Disney just sits there. They need Disney to actually say, along with Fox, that we're done in some sense, or to give that signal, or for this thing to wrap up at Sky in a rapid way, which is not clear to me that necessarily would be the case. And so if you're Comcast and you're looking at, let's call it July 20th is the final date you really could make a counter bid for the Fox assets because the vote is on the 27th. You know, it's unclear how this is going to work, Joe, and that'll be really interesting to see in terms of, to your point, do they publicly come out and say we're backing off?
But that was your reporting yesterday, was that the motivation to go all out, which would be, wouldn't it be to get to where Murdoch,
it depends on,
to get to where he would, where it's a better deal for him, you need to go, what's the price, like a 49 or it's some awful, but some price that puts Comcast at 5 times.
There are some analysts who are putting it up there. I don't think they get there. But, I mean, if you went to 42 even, Joe, and you assume the RSNs, you know, after tax, you get $16 billion in proceeds, you're still levering up to almost 4.5 times potentially on the Comcast balance sheet. They've done it before, and there was a time when cable was levered even more than that. But that's pretty high, and if you want to get to an even higher number, yeah, you're getting closer to that.
David, do you still see?
Talking about.
You still see just an insane all-out bidding war for all of the Fox assets between Comcast and Disney, or that's less? You stand by that that's less likely now. Do you?
I think, you know, yesterday I think I said the likelihood for that has gone down, and I believe that's the case, which is why you saw Fox drop yesterday, Comcast go up. Disney go up.
Yep.
And obviously Sky had a good day too because people were expecting them to come back. But it's still trading above $14.75.
Right.
I mean, all this stuff's getting pricey, Joe. You know, $10.75 is what Sky accepted. And now they're at $14.75.
Right.
Murdoch and the board at Fox accepted 28. Now they're at 38. Everything has a limit, right? You would hope.
David, can I ask you a potentially stupid question, but I don't care. I want to know the answer to it. The chain principle, does that apply to the pricing of the deal, even if the Comcast bid for Sky does not apply? And what I'm getting at is, could Comcast also be looking to extract the most pain from Disney, should Disney prevail? Because they would have to raise their offer through the chain principle based on Comcast bid for Sky.
No, it would have to be if Comcast came back for Disney, let's say, at 43, and then Disney felt it had to go up, even though they have a huge timing principle, and went to 41, then the chain principle conceivably would apply, Melissa, to their bid for Sky, and it would have to go up by the same proportion. A lot of that's been done, but at this point, every extra dollar certainly is adding. Don't forget, there is also in the Fox deal for Sky, they have that provision that lets them do it with only 50% approval, which means, given they own 39%, they'd only need 12% of shareholders to approve it.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.